Hello, and thank you for watching. My name is Bradford Roberts, Principal Broker, Founder, and Owner of TR Realty in the Las Vegas area. After watching this video, please be sure to like it as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. Download the pertinent handouts for this video by clicking the link in the comments below. Now let's get started. This video is entitled Class 1, Welcome to the TR Team, Welcome to Real Estate Excellence. And this segment is entitled Technology and Social Media. TR Realty is one of the very few brokerages in Southern Nevada to have a full-time technology coordinator because we want to embrace and harness technology. Technology is not a novelty. It's an expected competence. In fact, technology is like a runaway train. If you don't jump on board now, it's going to get further and further ahead of you. Don't make people track you down with multiple email addresses, telephone numbers, and fax numbers. To establish yourself in the real estate business, you need 3 points of contact that never change. First is your telephone number, second is your email address, and third is a fax number. I've broken these topics down to try to make them a little bit more simple for today's video. So I'd like to begin by talking about your phone. First, your phone should have a 702 area code. You can either get a second telephone number on your phone if you have an out-of-state or out-of-area code, or you can resort to using Google Voice. But there's a psychological detriment to having a telephone number that does not begin with 702. There's a feeling, a pervasive feeling in our industry that real estate is local and that the agent that someone chooses to work with is someone who is entrenched in the area, experienced, long-standing in the area, and it just doesn't feel right to work with an agent who has a different area code. So that's the first thing that I want to talk about. And on your phone, you need to have everything set up and working. It's not just enough to go out there and buy the most expensive cell phone you can and then think that everything is going to be perfect. You actually have to learn how to use the features. So when it comes to things like having your email set up, having your text messaging set up and working smoothly on your phone, because without these things you cannot function and you certainly can't compete. And speaking of text messaging gets better results than email. People do return a higher percentage of text messages than emails. There's something inherent about a text message. There's perhaps a greater sense of urgency or a greater sense of excitement when someone receives a text message versus an email. So I think real estate professionals today should definitely be in the habit of communicating with their prospects as well as their customers by text message. And I also want to mention a concept of tethering. Tethering is basically connecting another device to the internet through your cell phone. So it's another way of saying creating a Wi-Fi hotspot. And in real estate, we often find ourselves in vacant houses or in properties that don't have Wi-Fi. So we need to learn how to tether from our cell phone so that we could use a laptop computer, we could use a tablet, etc. I've prepared for you for today's video a list of apps. Please get that handout in front of you right now. And as you can see, it is several pages long. The app list is a list that I recommend you check out one by one when you get the opportunity. Go ahead and visit those apps or visit those websites to learn about those apps. You might notice on the app list that several of the apps I've indicated are pertaining to safety. Because I mentioned in an earlier video that safety should be a paramount concern to real estate agents. And one of the things that agents can do to improve their security standing is to have a friend or a loved one or somebody in your life you know and trust so that both of you can install a safety app such as one of the several that I have included on this list. That will allow that other person to know where you are at all times. Some of the safety apps are so good that not only can someone see the address where you're at, but they can actually locate you within that particular property. I highly recommend that everyone have a safety app installed and something that you use on a regular basis. Also, if you continue down the app list, you're going to see apps such as Dotloop and Dropbox and some other administrative tools, Google Maps. You're going to see Humin, Humin is a terrific app that helps you to remember details about people. I know for myself, I'm typically not that good at remembering someone's spouse's name or partner's name, or whether they have kids, or where I met them, or that sort of thing. Humin is an app that will help you with that. Continuing down the list, you'll see one for PDF Escape, which is a terrific free app also for administrative purposes. I also want to bring your attention to Vert. V-E-R-T is a great app that helps you to convert things like feet to meters, ounces to milliliters, and that sort of thing. Because remember that most of the world is on the metric system. In the United States, we are not yet on the metric system. So dealing with customers who come from other countries, they might have difficulty understanding the size of an acre or the size of a square foot or that sort of thing. So Vert is a terrific app to help you. Also, Zillow is on my list. There's calendars and workflow on the list. All kinds of excellent apps. And of course, for those of you who might not know what an app is, basically, the word app, of course, short for application, but it takes your cell phone, which is already pretty smart, right? Cell phones are computers now, and it makes that phone even smarter. Using an app on your phone is even more of a shortcut than visiting a website. There are some companies that have specialty features built into the app that you can't even find on their website. So today, people tend to have lots of apps on their phones. Real estate agents are no exception, and I highly recommend that you install several of these apps, and of course, then go ahead and use them. So that is a little bit about the telephone. The next thing I'd like to talk about in our technology and social media segment today is your email. So it's very important that you stay right on top of your email. Some people don't return email for days, if ever. Most of our contact at TR Realty is going to be by email. And of course, a lot of people love email. They can send an email anytime, 24 hours a day, as opposed to calling someone, and that way it doesn't disturb someone, it doesn't wake them up, that sort of thing. So email is very important. And I believe that your email address should be at a permanent domain. I am not an advocate of those free services that I won't mention right now. I know most of us use those free email addresses. I just don't think they look very professional. And also, they don't give you the absolute control over your email address. So I believe the email should be at a permanent domain, in fact, a domain name that you actually own, like your name at trrealty.com as an example of what I mean by a permanent domain. Having your own domain name, of course, is preferable, especially when your own domain name in some way says something about real estate. Think about the image that your email address projects, because your email address is going to be in your marketing pieces, it's going to be in your email signature, it's going to be on your business card, etc. So we need to put a little bit of thought into that email address, keeping in mind that once we set it up, it should be permanent. Also, make sure that you add everyone at TR Realty, and I'm talking about our office staff, into your address book or into your contact list somehow, so that our emails are not accidentally sent to your spam folder. You certainly don't want to miss any important emails from the company. And a minute ago I mentioned the email signature. So in case you're not familiar, the email signature is the very, very bottom part of the email that you send to others. And that is a part that should automatically append to every email. And once you go ahead and put some forethought into setting that up, it becomes like an ad for you every time you send an email. I also want to mention a lot of people are not aware that they need to set up their email signature on every device that they use. If you just set it up on your computer, it is not going to translate to your cell phone or to your tablet, as an example. And then you send out emails, and on the bottom of the email, instead of having that really nice email signature, it says sent from your device or something like that. So we want to have an email signature set up on every device that we use. I also want to speak to the proper usage of the word realtor. The word realtor is owned and trademarked by the National Association of Realtors. Therefore, they control how we are able to use that word. And of course, it is a two-syllable word, realtor. It is not a three-syllable word, realtor, right? So we want to say it correctly because we want to take pride in the union to which we belong. And when we use that word, whether it's in our email signature, whether it's on a marketing piece, whether it's on a car sign, a name badge, what have you, it's very important that the word appears in all capital letters, and the word always appears followed by the registration mark. In case you're not familiar with the registration mark, it is a small r, or what we call a superscript r in a small circle. Feel free to use the special characters section of your computer or your phone, and you should be able to find that. If for some reason you're not able to find it, you can always copy it off National Association of Realtors website, or feel free to copy it directly from my email signature. But it's very important that when you use the word realtor, you use it correctly, as incorrect usage is an easily finable offense from the Realtor Association. So be careful of that. Another thing that you want to make sure you set up with your email is the spell checker. I know that since the computers have become so prevalent in our lives, a lot of us have forgotten basic skills like spelling. So your service will automatically check your spelling if you go ahead and turn that feature on. I recommend that you do that. Another thing about email, before I move on and talk about the internet, is how important it is to use the away message feature. So a lot of us get tied up. We go on vacation, we go into a class, we go out with clients for 4 hours. There's all kinds of reasons why we might not be able to respond to an email in a timely manner. So rather than have someone sit and wonder if you're still in the real estate business or why you're not responding to them in any way, I would get in the habit of setting up your away message when you're away from your email for any prolonged period of time. That will just basically be an autoresponder that will let people know, hey, I'm in a class right now, or I'm on a flight, or whatever it is. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I think people will feel a lot more patient about waiting for your response if they know, where you are and what you're doing, as opposed to just letting your email sit for a while. Okay, so that's a little bit about email. I want to move on, as I said, and talk about the internet. So the internet is unequivocally the most powerful marketing tool that has ever been created, ever. Thank you, Al Gore, for that. We appreciate it. In fact, more than 90% of our customers will start their search for a home or start their search for an agent on the internet. And I think you have to ask yourself, how easy is it to find you? If someone is on the internet and they're in Chicago, or they're in Beijing, or they're in Vancouver, and they're looking to work with a real estate professional in Southern Nevada, how easy is it to find you on the internet? So that's a key question that you need to ask yourselves, because if you are invisible or very difficult to find on the internet, guess what's going to happen to the amount of traffic that you're able to derive from the internet? It's not going to be so good, right? I'd like you to take advantage of the excellent profile section that we have on the TR Realty website. It's absolutely free for all of our associates, and the profile section includes things like a short biography, your contact information, a photo, which of course should be a high quality photo, and any specialties. See, our website gets a lot of traffic. And people will go to our website, they'll go to the agent page, and they'll start looking through those profiles. Why would you not take advantage of it? Especially if you have a certain language that you speak. I know a lot of customers go to our website and they look for someone who speaks Mandarin or Tagalog or Spanish or Italian or German or French, what have you. So they'll look through that. Also, they're looking for specialties. Maybe you specialize in Pahrump, or you're a high-rise specialist, or you do predominantly commercial real estate, or you love selling cabins up on Mount Charleston, or you work down in Laughlin. Whatever those specialties are, those would be things that you would want to make part of your profile, along with all of your contact information, your phone, your email, a link to your website. Of course, you want to link to our website on yours, and you want us to link to your website on ours as well. Because when websites link to each other, they come up higher in the search engine ranking. So I highly recommend that we link to each other through that profile section. And what you can do to get your profile section set up is simply to email our technology coordinator whatever you'd like to have, and you'll work together and get that up on the website. Now, I mentioned a few minutes ago when we were talking about email that I recommend everyone owns their own domain name. Well, another reason for that is so that you can build a website. I highly recommend that as a real estate professional, you have your own website. And there's a few things that your website should have as part of that website in order to be effective. Because honestly, if you build a website and you don't have the features that I'm about to talk about, it's like building a billboard out in the desert. You could have the most beautiful billboard in the world, but in the desert, no one's driving past your billboard. And that's what it's going to be like if you don't include the following features on your website. One is called lead capture. So you'll notice if you go to other websites like a restaurant chain as an example, you can go to that website and you can get information about their locations. Maybe you can see things like a menu, company history, that sort of thing. But if you want the good stuff, like a coupon as an example, you know you have to enter information. You have to put in your name, you have to put in your email address, maybe your phone number, maybe answer some other basic questions. That is lead capture. And that's why companies like national restaurant chains will not just put the coupon on the website for anybody to have. See, they're willing to give you the coupon in exchange for your information. And you know they're going to be contacting you in the future, right? That's so they can build their email list as well. Well, we want to follow that same concept in real estate, that when you're building a website, people should be able to go to your website, maybe look at your biography, learn about your services, that sort of thing. But when it comes to the good stuff, like maybe searching for individual properties, that's when you want to have people enter their contact information. That is lead capture, and I highly recommend that on your website. Speaking of putting a website together, there are some websites where you can learn to build a website, or our excellent technology coordinator here at TR Realty is available to do that optional service for you for a charge, obviously. The two of you could work together and build a website that is specific to you. If you feel like doing this yourself, if you are a bit tech savvy, there's some websites I can recommend that you should check out. One is called WordPress. Another is Website Box. Another is called Weebly, that's Weebly. Then there's Wix, Wix. There's also GoDaddy and Google. So there's about half a dozen websites that you can go and you can learn about building your own website. Or, like I said, you can work directly with our own in-house technology coordinator here to get that website built inexpensively and efficiently. Now, another feature that you must have on your website as a real estate professional is known as IDX. And IDX is industry speak for Internet Data exchange. Having IDX on your website enables people to go and search for properties. Now, IDX is a sharing service that is provided by the Realtor Association. And there are actually two levels of IDX. One is free. One you have to pay for. There are some upgraded features. Folks, we don't need that upgraded level of IDX. That basic free IDX is going to be all you need to put on your website. And if you'd like to have IDX on your website, the first thing you need to do is contact the Las Vegas Realtor Association. They're going to provide a form to you that must be signed by your broker, me. So you're going to go ahead and fill that out. You're going to put in your name and your public ID number and the website where the IDX will be located. And then go ahead and send that to our compliance department. We're going to sign off on that for you, and that will allow you to have IDX on your website. Now, brokers can decline having IDX on individual agent websites, or they can allow it. Well, I choose to allow it, and again, I highly recommend you get IDX on your website. See, having IDX on your website is going to make your website what's called sticky. Having a sticky website means that people stick around. Rather than go to your website, maybe spend a few seconds or a couple of minutes on the website and then be off and running to some competitor's website, by making your website sticky, people spend more time. And I think having IDX is probably the #1 thing you can do to improve the stickiness of your website. I also want to talk about something known as an RSS feed. In case you don't know, RSS stands for Really Simple Syndication. And I'm not a very tech-savvy guy, but in my simple understanding of how an RSS feed works, it basically brings the internet to you. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Let's say I wake up in the morning and I would like to read the latest news on a particular topic of what might be going on in the world. Well, I might go, as an example, to www.cnn.com or another news service like that, and I have to choose the right tab and choose the right section and scroll down and find the topic I'm looking for, and then to discover perhaps that this is the same article I read last night. I've wasted all my time. My understanding of an RSS feed is that when you indicate the topics that are of interest to you, you actually get alerted when that topic has changed or when there's a new article or new information. So to bring that into the real estate world, let's say we build a website and we have a new listing. We go ahead and we put that listing on our website, and we put pictures and we put a description, maybe a link to MLS on the website, and then we sit back and we hope that people will go and check out the new listing on the website. In fact, someone could have visited your website yesterday before you put the listing up. Now you have to hope that they come back again. But if you have an RSS feed on your website, that person who was there yesterday would actually get notified that there's new information on the website. In my opinion, having an RSS feed on a real estate website is really, really important. Also, speaking of websites, I'd like to talk a little bit about the TR Realty website. We have a password-protected page on our website. If you visit our website and you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the home page, you will find a green button that says TR Associates Login. Now, when you click on that green button, you can either enter your password if you have one, or request a password. That request is going to go to our technology coordinator, who's going to verify that you are, in fact, part of our team. It's called a new registration. And then you will be provided with a password to access that page. And when you access that page, you're going to find all of the TR Realty forms that are specific to our company, as well as, and this is very important, all of the closing checklists that you will need. So these closing checklists act as a roadmap to a transaction, and it will tell you exactly what documents we require as a brokerage for you to be able to complete your file, close out your file, and earn your commission. So everyone affiliated with TR Realty must have a password to the website. The next thing I'd like to talk about in our technology and social media segment is social media itself. You must embrace social media in today's business environment. It doesn't matter if you like it personally, it doesn't matter if you use it personally, but it is a critical part of business. It is a very important part of the real estate business today. And the first thing I want to say about social media is how important it is to completely separate your personal social media from business social media. So you need to have separate Facebook pages, etc. I'm not sure what individual social media you may choose to use, but always keep your business and your personal social media completely separate. You should set up and be using this, and you should have links to your social media any place that you advertise, such as your email signature would be one example. A profile page on our website would be another example. Have links to your social media. When you contact a new lead or a new prospect for the first time, remember to connect with them on social media using your business social media. Did you know people are more likely to change their phone number than they are to change their Facebook page? That is how deeply entrenched social media has become in our culture today. So it's a great way to establish contact and keep in contact with your customers over the long term. I've put together another handout for you today, which is entitled Real Estate Websites List. Please get that in front of you. And you're probably going to notice that the website list seems to be a little bit scattered. There's actually a reason for that. If you look carefully at my list of websites, you're going to notice that some are more toward the advertising side, some are more toward the purely social media side, but actually most are an amalgam of both. You know, when we think of social media, we're thinking of the social media part of that, but in fact, social media is really all about advertising. That's something that we should never lose sight of. So, a couple of things I want to bring to your attention on the websites list that I put together. One is Craigslist. I want to mention Craigslist specifically because it is such a monster in our industry. Real estate agents love to use Craigslist, and they benefit enormously from Craigslist in many cases. Of course, Craigslist is so big and so busy today that if you're going to post something on Craigslist, it's really important to use the right keywords. Because if you go back, to the dark ages, people would jump on Craigslist and they would scroll through all of the postings in a particular category, such as real estate, and they would open each posting and they would read it to find what they're looking for. But there are so many postings going up on Craigslist literally every minute of the day that most people won't do that anymore. They're going to use that search bar at the top of the page. So that's why it's important that we use the right keywords in our posting so that anything we put on Craigslist becomes searchable. I'd also like to bring your attention to Zillow. Zillow is on my list because Zillow has become an unbelievably important website in our industry as well. Zillow used to take a back seat to Realtor.com. Those days are behind us. Zillow has been quite aggressive with technology. They've been very aggressive in pushing the Zillow app into the hands of consumers. They've got multi-million-dollar advertising campaigns for their app and for their website. I highly recommend that you have a presence on Zillow. Another one on my list is YouTube. Do you think YouTube works? Duh, right? You're watching this video right now on YouTube. YouTube is a great friend of the real estate industry. YouTube allows us to take a video. Perhaps we can take a video of a property. We can narrate that video. We can add We can add text to it, we can add music to it, and we can push it out there. YouTube is a tremendous website. It's a website that's only going to get bigger in the future. I highly recommend that you use YouTube as part of your marketing, and especially when the time comes that you have listings. YouTube is a fantastic way to get your listing out there. So that is a little bit about social media that I want to cover today. Let's move on and talk about online reviews. Online reviews have become huge in today's world. We used to talk to each other. We used to ask for recommendations for different services. Now we all go online. Online reviews are the new word of mouth in today's world. And in fact, positive reviews are like rocket fuel for your business. Negative reviews, conversely, can severely damage your career. So we need to pay attention to online reviews and work them very smartly. Understand that they are an integral part of our marketing campaign. Online reviews also improve search engine rankings, and they establish credibility for you. So when you have a happy customer, that is the time to ask them to put a review online for you. And in my opinion, the three most important websites would be Yelp, Google, and Zillow. Those are three websites that a lot of people check for online reviews to get a feel of an agent before they decide to hire that agent, etc. Yelp, Google, and Zillow are where I believe you should focus your attention. And folks, this really matters. So get your customers to post reviews there. Also, I should mention that the TR Realty website has a review page as well. We wish it was as widely viewed as the three I mentioned. It's on the way, but it is another great place to post reviews as well. Now, I'm recommending that your customers put reviews on the TR Realty pages. Now, if you want to have your own individual Yelp page or your own individual Google page, hey, that's great, that's fantastic. But the reason I recommend putting those reviews on the TR Realty pages is because of the traffic. What I've heard over the years is that the public will take a look at the TR Realty Yelp page or the TR Realty Google page or the TR Realty Zillow page as an example, and they will scroll looking for agents who have been recommended. We have had countless cases where an individual real estate agent picks up business from the TR Realty Yelp page or the TR Realty Google page because the agent listened. And they took my advice, they got the customer to go to those pages, post a review about the agent, and include the agent's name in the review. So I think this really matters. And one other thing I want to mention about the importance of online reviews is that online reviews can also be used as testimonials. In other words, you can take an online review that's posted on another website, such as Zillow or Google, etc. You can take that and you can then put that on your own website. And when we get into the videos for Class 4, which is my listing class, you're going to hear me say that when we build a CMA, which is a comparative market analysis presentation, when we build that for a prospective seller, we want to include those online reviews that we've been smart enough to acquire. We want to use those as testimonials as part of our CMA. Be sure to watch my Class 4 videos when we talk about the CMA, and you'll understand how important that can become. So that is a little bit about the online reviews. There are some other miscellaneous technology topics that I would like to discuss with you today. Let's talk about electronic faxing. So we have not had a real fax machine here at TR Realty in well over a decade because we use only electronic faxing. Electronic faxing today is very inexpensive, or even in some cases free. It will enable you to get faxes like you get email. So wherever you get email on your phone, tablet, computer, whatever, that's where you will be able to get your faxes. If you have electronic fax set up correctly, you'll also be able to fax out from your tablet, from your cell phone, or from your computer. This will give you faster access to your faxes. It will allow you to copy multiple people on the same fax. And of course, there's less printing, less paper, fewer ink cartridges, and since we're a green certified company, we are all about that. And you can even get an electronic fax app on your phone, which will make the process even simpler. Now, a few minutes ago, we talked about the app list that I provided to you, and there was one on there known as PDF Escape. That is a PDF editor. And long ago, we had to pay quite a bit of money for a program like Nitro or a program like Adobe Editor or something like that. But we don't have to anymore. We could use a program like PDF Editor, which will allow you to perhaps substitute a page in a contract. Let's say, as an example, somebody sends you a 20-page contract and page 14 was accidentally upside down. You could use your PDF editor and you can turn that page upside down, or if a page didn't come through clearly, they could fax you just that single page and you could substitute. So PDF editor will save you a lot of time. It will save you a lot of hassle as well. The next thing I want to talk about is known as a podcast. So podcast will enable you either through audio or video to send a message out to those who have subscribed. Podcasting is a great real estate tool. When you start to build your list of subscribers, you could actually send out a video, let's say every time you take a new listing, or you could blog if you choose to do maybe just audio as an example as part of your podcast. It's really cool. It's like putting a video or an audio recording right into the hands, in many ways very similar to an RSS feed on the internet. So it's a great tool that savvy real estate agents learn to use. Another thing I want to talk about is known as a QR code. If you're not familiar with QR code, it stands for quick response, by the way, and it looks kind of like a newfangled barcode. Next time you go to the supermarket, take note of how many products have QR codes right on the package. And a QR code will enable someone to take a picture of that code and go directly to a website or even to a video. So QR codes can be used in real estate, perhaps on a sign, maybe on your car sign as an example. Someone in traffic could take a picture of your QR code on your car sign, and when they click through to that QR code, they're going to see maybe a little video of you, get your contact information, that kind of thing. QR codes have been around for probably a decade, but there's a lot of benefits, a lot of applications that you might discover using QR codes. And if you'd like to generate a QR code for yourself, perhaps a video for yourself, perhaps a video of a tour of a particular property, you can go online and you can search for something called a QR code generator. With just a few minutes and a cup of coffee, you folks can learn to do this by yourselves, and it is absolutely free. The next thing I'd like to talk about is known as a cloud. So if we go back in time, we talk about storage. We needed actual physical devices, things like an external hard drive, a floppy drive, a thumb drive, a flash drive, that sort of thing. Well, anytime we use an actual device, there's always the possibility that it can get damaged, could get stolen, can drown in a flood, that sort of thing. The new way to store documents and photos is on a cloud. And really a cloud is just a fancy way of saying that something's going to be stored on the internet. Some savvy real estate agents are setting up a cloud for every real estate transaction that they're involved with. And that will allow those who are part of that transaction, such as the other agent, such as the broker, such as the principals in the transaction, maybe the mortgage company, the title company, to be able to access all of the relevant documents by getting a password to that cloud. There are some sites where you can set up clouds for free. I know Google has been quite aggressive doing this with something they call the G Suite. But I highly recommend that we start storing things in the cloud rather than on a physical device that, again, could get damaged, lost, or stolen. The next thing I'd like to talk about is blogging. So the word blog comes from a combination of web, log. When we put web, log together, it became blog. And basically, blogging means that anyone can become an author. So I recommend that you have a blog set up on your own website. Blogging might be a great use of the podcasting that we talked about a few minutes ago. I blog from time to time. I'm pretty busy. I haven't had much time lately, but you should probably go back and read some of my blog posting, which can be located on our website. But don't be scared of blogging. Blogging is conversational. It doesn't matter if your English is the best, your grammar, your sentence structure. Those things are really not important. Remember something that I said in an earlier video. Salespeople are rarely trusted. Professionals are usually trusted. And one of the great ways to put yourself out there as a real estate professional is to consider blogging. Next thing I'd like to talk about here has to do with the collection of email addresses. So years ago, when we met people, we would collect their business card or we would collect their phone number, perhaps. But what we want today is to collect people's email addresses. And the primary reason we want to do that is so that we can set up something called a drip campaign. As the name might imply to you, a drip campaign is so named because we are dripping. We have repetitive communication over and over and over with our prospects. Now, smart real estate agents use drip campaigns, and actually drip campaigns, in my opinion, are absolutely critical. Real estate is one of the longest term businesses in the world. You might meet somebody today who thinks you're probably a great real estate professional, but maybe they just bought a house 6 months ago. They may not be ready to buy another house for years to come or to sell their current property. One of the best ways to stay in touch with that person over the long term is to put that person's email address into a drip campaign. Now, you can have multiple drip campaigns. You can control the content. You can control the frequency. And the purpose, again, is to have repetitive communication. So if you set up, let's say, a group of renters. Renters are very short term. Most people don't start looking for a rental property 2 years in advance, right? They're very short term. So that might be a drip campaign that you send out every day or every couple of days. Maybe you set up a different campaign for international investors and you're only reaching out to them, I don't know, maybe once a month or that sort of thing. Drip campaigns are really, really important in the real estate industry. I suggest you go right here to YouTube, search a little bit about drip campaigns, pour yourself a cup of coffee, take a few minutes, and learn how to master them. They are really, really important. And how do we build our database? People whom to contact. How do we get those email addresses? Well, I recommend as a real estate agent that you get in the habit of adding somewhere between 200 and 300 new contacts a year into your database. If you do 200 to 300 a year, which is, pretty much one new contact every business day, after about 5 years, you're going to have 1,000 or 1,500 people in your database, which means, if you're doing it correctly, in your drip campaigns. And some experts say that if you've got 1,000 or 1,500 people and you're dripping them on a regular basis, between the repeat business and the referrals that you get, you should probably be able to sustain yourself with enough business for the rest of your life. And I should also mention a great way to build your contact list is by participating in the lead campaign that we have here at TR Realty. We will be talking more about that shortly. The next thing I want to mention is electronic signature. So when we first started using electronic signature, we used a product known as digital ink. Digital ink was replaced by something called DocuSign. And now we're on to the third generation of electronic signature known as AuthentiSign. The cool thing about AuthentiSign is that it is accepted in court. All of your documents are automatically date and time stamped. What that means is if you're ever questioned in a legal sense about the delivery of a document, rather than have your word against someone else's word, we have the date and time stamp that are incorporated into AuthentiSign. AuthentiSign is included with your LVR membership. It is embedded into Transaction Desk, meaning that you can go into Transaction Desk, fill out a form, you can email it to the customer using AuthentiSign. They can electronically sign anywhere in the world. It's date and time stamped and returned to you, all at no additional cost. No paper, no faxing, no printing, no ink, no overnight delivery services. This is awesome. Please use how to learn it. I also want to mention in this video that we have additional sources of help when we need it. So as an example, we have a legal hotline. If we have a legal question, we can call the legal hotline. It's a service that's provided to realtors for free. And that phone number is 1-800-748-6999. Again, 1-800-748-6999. And since we're talking about technology today, I'd like to bring your attention to the Matrix Support Hotline. So Matrix, as I mentioned, is the program we use to get into the multiple listing service. And they provide unlimited support for realtors by calling 702-735-0478. 702-735-0478. So whenever you have any questions about putting a listing into MLS, or what something means, or how to find a particular type of property in MLS, that's where you should go for your tech support. You know, TR Realty is very proud to be one of the very few real estate brokerages in Southern Nevada with a full-time on-site technology coordinator. Our technology coordinator offers a variety of technology fixes, solutions, upgrades. Some are free, some are optional, where you could actually hire him individually. But we are available to help you. So take advantage of this huge benefit that TR Realty has to offer. And our technology coordinator has an optional service menu. Things like building a website, managing social media, taking digital headshots, and other things that can be provided to you on an optional basis. Again, I repeat, take advantage of this excellent benefit that we have to offer. Technology is helping us to become a greener company, which is one of our goals. Technology is the new infrastructure in the real estate industry. I would like to thank you for watching this video. I hope it was informative for you. If you are licensed with another brokerage in Southern Nevada and would like to talk with me, please text me or visit our website. See you next time.